Hey guys, we're here in Milton, right next to Suncorp Stadium and at Last Man Standing. So we're going to go inside, talk to Steve and Damian. It's going to be great.
ABV is proudly sponsored by Convoy, Bintani, Craft Punks Canning and Rallings, labels and stickers.
So guys, thanks heaps for sitting down with us. So Steve, it's I don't know how we're going to put that on the title.
How will you remember our name?
Oh, it's going to be difficult.
Steve1, Steve2.
Mate, thanks for pouring a beer.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. First off, how did you guys start this brand? Like, obviously, I know the story. I can read it on the website. Last Man Standing, you're famous doing a Bradbury, which wasn't doing a Bradbury until you did the Bradbury. But the Last Man Standing thing, like, how long has it been going? What was the plans? Like, who are the five mates? What's the story here? What are we?
Yeah, well, the brand is obviously a little bit around me and the gold medal. That's kind of where the name of it came from, Last Man Standing. We also thought it was a good name for a beer.
Yeah.
The branding is a little bit sort of take the piss.
Yep.
With the hare and the tortoise.
Yeah.
But also subliminally encouraging responsible drinking.
Yep.
Meaning you don't want to go too hard too early.
Yeah.
Make a pissed idiot of yourself. You got to pace yourself, be the tortoise. So the tortoise is our brand
Emblem sort of thing.
emblem that we want to sort of create into hopefully a Nike swoosh.
Yeah.
To make it that well known one day. That'd be nice.
Yeah. I saw it on the shirts. It looks great.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the merch is nice, and we've been building the brand for nearly 6 years now. But it kind of came from Steve's dad, Roy. Probably what you tell us.
Well, so we launched. We were talking about it for a long time. When we launched was just before COVID.
Yep.
So we launched in kegs, and then everything happened. Venues closed, but then we released our cans just in time, and that was really good timing because that's when everyone was at home.
Yeah.
Getting on the booze pretty hard.
Yeah.
Timing there was good, but prior to that, we'd spoken about it a long time. My dad was ex-Wallaby, also played for the world. And he became good mates with Steve.
Yep.
And
Big Roy Prosser. He was.
Yeah.
What do you play at? About 130, 135 kilo?
Yeah,
When he's running at you, you don't want to.
He was a big front rower. So, but yeah, look, he was in the game for a long time with Carlton United Breweries.
Yep.
And so was I. And so we're pretty familiar with beer outside of just drinking it.
Yeah.
He and Steve had a great relationship. Dad was sort of there throughout, Steve's journey.
Yeah, Roy was a bit of a supporter of mine before I got the gold medal.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's great.
Nobody gave a crap about a speed skater from Brisbane.
Until
after I got the gold medal.
Yeah.
So, it was born out of a friendship between Roy, Steve, myself, and Steve's brother Damian, who's the third partner in the business. And Big Roy always sort of wanted to have his own beer.
Yep.
Never got around to it. He passed away about
2008.
About 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
And we kept that conversation going and didn't do anything about it for a decade, and then eventually we decided, well, we better do it.
Yeah.
We love beer, and we think we can make something that the average Aussie really enjoys.
Yeah.
And hopefully there's a little bit of Big Roy's memory in every glass.
Yeah, 100%.
Cheers to Big
Cheers
Roy.
to that.
Yep. Cheers, Dad.
No. So the beers themselves, like, how do you guys decide what you wanted to do, and how much sampling did you get? Because it's not just going out on the piss and going, I want to make this, right? Like, you would have sort of sat down and went, this is a plan. Like, you want to make a business of it, right?
Well, we did everything backwards. So, as you know, majority of people have the brewery, and then they do that. I mean, and everything we did, we loved the concept and everything we just spoke about. So we did everything backwards. We didn't have a home. So we were contract brewing back then. But we sat around, we got the silver bullets, and we engaged with a few different brewers. We tried a few different beers, and it was actually an easier process than I thought it was going to be with three very different people. And
we kind of knew what we wanted to brew right from the start. And as you can see now, we're sitting in our home, which we've only had for 2 months. You can see all the stainless steel here behind us. We can brew it. I want to be here nearly 4 million litres a year. So we're
it's a big kid,
we're hoping to do some more contract brewing here, and we want to do that at the right price so that people can make a profit out of it when they sell it, which is difficult when it comes to packaged product. But we kind of knew that we wanted to do a lager. We're a lager only company. With more flavour. most Aussie lagers, they taste good while you drink them, but they don't really leave you much in the aftertaste.
Yep.
So the heavy is very close to a Pilsner.
Yep.
So it's got 3 different malt flavours in the aftertaste, and that was the style of beer that we all enjoyed the most.
Yep.
And the one that we wanted to make, and felt that there was kind of a bit of a hole in the market, even though there's a million different styles of beer out there that you can buy off the shelf.
Yeah.
A lot of them were a bit too crafty for us, right?
Yeah.
If that's the right description.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of people would call this a craft lager.
Yep.
The mid, not so much.
Yep.
Not as much malt flavour in the kick.
Yep.
But, we felt as though that there was a bit of room in the Aussie market to do a lager with a bit more flavour in the back end.
Yeah. The flavours that you're going for, like, once again, were you saying, oh yeah, the Pilsnery type I like, or is it like the yeast sort of flavours? Like, how much sort of have you gone into the recipes yourselves, or you just sort of like, yeah, we're heading in the right direction from what you've tasted, and then you landed on something, you go, that's the one, we're going?
Yeah, less so for Stephen and myself.
Yep.
Damian, Steve's brother, who's upstairs working away.
Yeah.
He's the expert on the ingredients and the exact style of beer, but it's definitely more of a Pilsner style lager. This one is almost a Pilsner.
Yep.
Sits right on the border of lager and Pilsner.
Yep.
And for us, when we first brewed it, the first brew we did was over at Slipstream.
Yeah, okay.
First one we ever did on the other side of the river, and we drank it out of the tank, and the first one we were all standing there and we're like, that's it.
We're on. Yeah.
So it was done by taste, pretty much. We didn't. Bradders and I didn't dig too much into the recipe side of it. It was just whether we liked it or not.
Yep.
And as you said, we knew the style.
It took a couple of goes though. The first one we did was drinkable, but
Yeah.
And I think we also extended to, when we got those silver bullets and didn't even have the logo or anything, we extended it to our friends, and majority ruled. And I think that's how we sort of came to.
Yeah, you can't just go, oh yeah, 3 of us think it's
we
great.
like it's good.
We're the beer aficionados of the world. Yeah, let's go. Like, beer isn't really traditionally a product associated with like elite sports people, but it's starting to more recently. And I know you said earlier this is like low carb as well. Is that a focus for you as well? Like, I know you've got the drinking moderation story as well. Like, is that all that tied in as well to people keep their health and manage that sort of stuff as well? Or
it does. I mean, the low carb thing with beer for me is a myth.
Yep.
Pretty much every beer is low carb.
100%.
If you compare it to a glass of soft drink or a glass of orange juice,
yeah.
This technically isn't a low carb, the heavy. But it only has 4 grams of carbs per can.
That's right, yeah. It's just good marketing spin.
The meters are out there. It's all marketing spin. It really is BS. And there's, I don't know, but I've seen some stuff where in Germany now they're doing almost a sports drink beer.
Yep.
Which is something that might come to Australia one day, and we might be one of the first to have a crack at that, where you've got beer with electrolytes in it.
Yeah.
So you're actually kind of getting the beer buzz from the booze.
Yep.
And rehydrating yourself at the same time.
Yeah, because it is a diuretic, hey? Like, beer just empties you out, so those electrolytes would be super helpful. You've got 2 beers in the range at the moment, and you say the Lager Brewery. Have you got other lagers sort of lined up that you want to expand on now? You've got this massive kit, or what's the sort of plan for that? Is that too far ahead of the future, or have you?
No, we've discussed it. I mean, there's a few different ideas that we're floating around, but I mean, in terms of lagers, I don't think we'll do too many other. We might do a couple of.
Yeah, there might be a dark lager on the horizon.
We can play around with it now.
You've got that freedom.
Yeah, because you've got a bit more of a personal preference. I'm not sure how well a dark lager would sell.
Yeah,
but we've partnered with a lot of other Brisbane beer companies.
Yep.
We've got Slipstream, a couple of taps. Hiker Brewing from up at Brackenridge has got a couple of taps. We've just put Cooper's Pale Ale on, which isn't Brisbane but Australian owned. So we want to consistently stick to only Australian owned beers.
Yep.
We'll look to do our own ginger beer in here at some point.
Yeah, nice.
But as far as what we brew, our brand I don't think is ever going to be a pale ale.
Yep.
No. We started as a lager company, and being able to partner with other Brisbane breweries is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think that'll help us succeed with the venue here, because we're doing amazing food. Steaks are arguably the best in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Come down and try it out.
Yeah.
Most people are giving it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, nice.
But we're combining the quality food with the quality beer.
Yep.
And partnering with other Brisbane companies, which it's not easy to succeed in a beer brand, as you would know.
Yeah.
You're trying to take on the big guys that are got this
war chest
enormous economy of scale and multi-million-dollar marketing budgets.
Yep.
You're a little guy punching away that's got to pay the staff the same, and they go out and holiday pay and everything else that goes around having staff. It's not easy to make money, and that's part of the entrepreneurial spirit that we have, and we'd like to see that succeed with other Brisbane companies too.
Yeah. Now we know this. Like, we're going to do a quick tour after this and show everyone around, but this is only new to you guys. Like, very new. Used to be Newstead, but you're going to make your own spin on it and do a whole bunch of cool stuff in here. Got the stadium right next door. Game days must be manic. Now you've got that home. Does it feel sort of more grounded? Like, you feel like you've got a bit more purpose to the brand itself? Like, it's sort of built in, and you're like, yeah, we're here, we're ready now. Let's make a massive stamp on it.
How do you feel when you walk in here?
Well, yeah, I definitely, absolutely. I mean, it's been a long time coming. We haven't had a home, so for this to be our home and to be right next to Suncorp Stadium, and with Brad's background, our rugby background, Dad, all that, it absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
And for me, being on the road as our sales manager, the conversations are very different with the publicans now.
Yep.
They can feel what I feel, what they feel, and even though I've known them for years,
we're on the same playing field.
It's sort of like welcome to the big league. Like this conversation, and it's a good conversation. We're seeing organic growth, throughout.
Yep.
From my point of view, like, absolutely, and the amount of people that are going to the Reds and the Bronx and all that are mates of ours.
Yep.
That can come in, and you can only get our lagers on tap here.
Yep.
So it's awesome. And I think slowly we're converting a lot of people that are coming in. If they want to go and get a 4X Gold or a Great Northern, they'll go to Caxton Street.
Yeah,
that's
go where they want to go. Yep.
But I certainly haven't seen people leave because.
What's the name of the street?
Yeah.
We're on the other side of the stadium.
Castlemaine Street is where it's at.
Yeah, can't escape it.
Say the name of the street either.
No,
Makes you think about 4X.
Yeah, can't escape it.
We'll have to use it at the back street. Parkview Street in the back there.
Yeah. How often does your food menu change? Like, I know you've just sort of taken it over, and it's not like you're going to change it all of a sudden, but are you going to do seasonal sort of things, or is it a summer, winter, or we're just going to see what works? Like, you're just throwing stuff at a barrel at the moment and seeing.
It's a sports brew pub, so it needs to be that style of menu.
Yep.
We've got 3 or 4 different types of burgers.
Yeah.
The double patty, double smash cheeseburgers.
Yep.
It's nice and greasy.
Yeah.
Well with a beer.
That's right.
So burgers, staple.
Yep.
We bought our own dough making machine.
Yeah, cool.
So the chefs are actually making the pizza bases on site from the dough machine, which over time is going to make us more money.
Yeah.
But also you've got that fresh dough in the pizza, which makes the pizza taste better as well.
Yeah.
And then we already talked about the steaks, which the steaks are a must try here.
Yeah.
So these are our beer nuts.
Yeah, okay.
Which are actually roasted in Last Man Standing.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah.
Where's your
nice.
Let's see. I didn't know that. Little stash.
So we've got a mix of walnuts, pistachios, cashews, and macadamias.
Hell yeah.
Which are roasted in the beer.
Yeah.
Firstly, they're moreish.
Yeah.
Make you want to drink more. Salty. Secondly, they're the best beer nuts you've ever tried in your life.
They friggin' are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just cutting gold. Sorry, we're all eating beer nuts here.
How good, eh?
Yeah, they're excellent.
And we're doing beef jerky as well.
Yeah, great.
That's our snack menu. Beef jerky made in-house.
Yep.
A little bit of chilli in it. Sometimes done in the meat smoker outside.
Yep.
All these little things are just stuff that is exclusive to this venue.
If you can do it,
that you can't get anywhere else.
If you can do it yourself too, as you said, you're saving money in the long run, but you're also this is your home now, so you want to welcome people to your home with the home cooked stuff and homemade everything.
Yeah. When I'm in here, I'll walk around with some beer nuts and just get people to try them.
Yeah.
And they say, oh yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah. Mate, That's great. No, thanks very much, guys, for having us in here. And looking forward to going around and checking it out.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Welcome to Last Man Sports Brew Pub upstairs.
Yeah.
A little bit tricky to find your way up here. We've got to make the entrance a bit more prominent.
Yep.
But as you can see, the room's pretty big.
Yeah.
Where the curtain is down there, there's actually further space behind it.
Yep.
So weddings, bands,
birthdays,
matches, birthday parties, conferences, whatever, for up to about 500 people.
Yep. Yeah, fantastic.
Nobody knows this place is even up here.
No, it's that's a huge space. This is great.
Yeah. So welcome to the Roy Prosser Bar. So this is our side bar to the side of where we were. It's can be as small or as big as you really want it to. I reckon we'd probably get these doors all open up, so you probably fit 200 people, 150 people, I reckon, sort of just standing on around here. So the idea is we chuck these TVs in. This gets pretty packed during particularly Broncos games. The Reds games we don't get as bigger crowds, so they'll all sort of be here. There's something about this particular space that people like. Yeah. So you can hire this space out, and we're already getting a lot of bookings coming in for birthdays, and it's a really good room. So
it'll be more of the sports bar kind of concept here. We're probably looking at putting the pool tables here.
Oh, nice.
With
the
races,
horse racing on the screens. Have a punt, have a beer.
Hell yeah.
Shoot some stick.
That's it. Yeah.
So that's all sort of evolving now as we speak. So
that's
a great space. Yeah.
All right, we're in the Last Man outdoor area now. So plan is for all of this where we're standing to be done in artificial grass.
Yep.
To make it feel like you're outside on
umbrellas
the grass. Outdoors, that's going to cost a bomb.
Yeah.
And here behind us is where we're going to build the stage. On top of all that brickwork there, all the way back to the tree.
Yeah, cool.
So the band will be playing underneath the tree on a Sunday afternoon.
Fantastic.
Fire up the meat smoker.
Yeah. Yep.
Do some beef briskets and pulled pork and other cool stuff in the meat smoker that the chefs will look after.
So how do I sign up for a membership for all this shit?
You're in. You just got to know a couple of the owners.
I just got to know a couple of Steves and I'm good.
A couple of Steves and you're good.
There's a lot of space in there. The place just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, it's just epic stuff to be able to do. And as like we were talking about as we walked around, depending on what you're feeling like doing for the day, there's different places you can go and hang.
That's right.
Mate, Sunday session out here would be insane.
Oh yeah. And for the kids, like we're looking at different options on how we can, like we've got ping pong tables and things like that. So I think that's we're very aware of all that, and we are a very family friendly pub.
Yep.
All of this done in the artificial grass, straight through here, Australia Day cricket.
Yeah. Mate, I thought you were going to say some running race or something, and I was like, oh, here we go, he's bringing it back out. Guys, thanks so much for having us here today. This has been absolutely nuts, and drinking the beer is fantastic as well.
Mate.
It's been good.
Appreciate you coming in. I hope you guys enjoyed the tour.
I know, right? Can be worse places to be in life.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Mate, you missed out on the beers earlier. We had that, but... mate, you're going to show us around what some of this brew kit's got.
Yeah, apologies about that. I was in a meeting, but mate, we've got a lot of stainless here, so got a lot of room to grow into it. So up this end, we've got 6 100 hect tanks or 10,000 litre tanks with 2 matching 10,000 litre bright tanks there to brighten up the lagers. There's 2 5,000 litres here as well. Then down to the big guys, the 200 hex, we've got 3 200 hex and 1 bright tank to match as well. So if we scale things up, when we scale things up, our brewers have told us that we can get up to 8 million litres a year out of this equipment, which is ambitious, but it's the direction we want to go.
No, that's fantastic. So, and the good thing is that it's here.
It is.
So you don't have to buy anything in to grow, right?
That's
you can grow into it.
That's right. If we can do all of that in kegs, then that'll be the best use of this site. We do have a canning line that we'll show you soon, but before it goes into the kegs or the tanks, we've got here is the centrifuge, which is going to take out all the heavy particles that anyone in the brewing game sort of understands. It's pretty important especially for our lagers, to not have any of that sediment sitting in the kegs or the cans.
Yeah.
So that centrifuge will be a pretty important part of our process.
Yeah. You guys have only been here like 7 weeks, so since you've taken it over, and then by the time you actually get to start brewing, are you going to have to recommission everything?
Yeah, there's a bit of cleaning that needs to be going through. So you know the guys left things in pretty good state, but just not knowing what they were doing next. So we're going to probably do a test brew of wort that'll just that we'll get through and flush it all out, make sure that everything's working well. Boilers are working and the glycol system. We've got obviously some big CO2 tanks which also run our keg room, so we need to. BOC haven't been getting back to me. Need to make sure we've got gas to push our beer through, most importantly initially. But so we'll go through a bit of CO2 as well. And getting it back up and running is it's going to have its challenges, but we'll get the right people on board and we'll get right into it.
Yeah, nice.
Obviously we've got the malts here. That's where the barley goes in, and it comes through and goes into the mill, which I can open up the door to the mill. We've got a ping pong table in the way, but so in here obviously that's got to be a separate room so that the dust all stays in there. Let's turn the light on, mate. So that's our mill. So all the barley will go into that mill and then up and into the silo before going into the mash. So into the brew house here. All computer run, as per most of the equipment these days. I think the brewers really like to be able to just run it from their iPhones in bed. If everything's running smoothly, but unfortunately I don't think things run as smoothly as that.
No, that'd be nice if it did all the time.
So obviously all the brew days start in there and then filter into the big tanks. This is our hot liquor tank, which we're probably, I know it's been, that's one of our concerns. There's the heater here, it's not the right match, and there's a number of brewers were having issues and having them re-welded. We are getting another 10,000 litre ginger beer tank in to probably use as a backup for our kettle and to boil up all the water, the hot liquor tank. So they're 10,000 litres. It's a fair bit of energy.
That's a fair bit,
so we are looking as we scale up to put a lot more solar on the roof here to be as efficient and as green as we can be. But electricity prices going up, it just makes sense. So possibly put in some big batteries to go with that, just to sort of help with some of those electricity costs that are in there for all the brewers.
Definitely.
There. Go over to the canning line, or it's a high-end Cody canning line. So it hasn't been operational for a little while, but from all reports, everything works really, really well. So we're quite fortunate to have such a good canning line, which is going to be key, especially when we start brewing in those big 200 hect tanks.
That's right, you guys do big volume. So
we're going to need to do big volume. So we'd hope to get the best part of 20 pallets out of that 200 hect tank. It'll probably be 2 full days of canning from what we understand. So getting that efficient, maybe when we get really into it, maybe it'll be all done in one day, but 3 8-hour shifts. That's the dream. And being in a commercial area with no noise restrictions, that gives us that scope to do it. So it's exciting, a little bit daunting at the same time.
That's right.
But lots of beer.
Mate, thanks so much for showing us around this spot. We talked about you in the first bit of the episode, but mate, thanks for coming and showing us around.
Appreciate it. Love to have you guys here, and we'll get you back when we're up and operational and the brewers are in here. You can probably tell you a little bit more of the technical stuff, and
that'll be cool.
And then we can have a proper beer at the bar.
Mate, I won't drive that day.
Sounds like a plan.
Legend.
See you next time.
Thanks, mate.